So this story says a lot about where we are as a country right now. It seems like us citizens gave up our rights after this whole pandemic thing just blew up. You see stories of cops everywhere not holding up the Constitution. You see police violating the citizens' rights for the sake of this stay-at-home order. And it's just been really crazy, and cops have not been put in a good light as of recent. And George Floyd's story just makes them look even worse. So we have this black man being held down by this officer. And apparently this officer had served 19 years as a cop, and he had over a dozen misconduct complaints. So you can already tell what was going through this officer's mind as he suffocated this man. His past shows that he has no regard for citizens and their rights. So don't get me wrong, I'm not anti-cop or anything. In fact, I most of the time support the police and what they do. But this story, I can understand why some people think that it's a race problem. Because you see a lot of stories coming out where cops are treating black people unfairly, right? And I think there are a good portion of racist police, but most of them are not racist. These situations where you see cops, treating black people unfairly, the mainstream media blows up these stories, but there are countless other stories of white people being mistreated by police. Now that's not to justify what this cop did, obviously it's awful, but people need to keep in mind that not all cops are racist. I don't know if this cop is or isn't, I'm just saying. So, that brings us to the protests. Now, the protests, they went way over the top. Like, we see shops and stores being burnt down, and people are just acting crazy. Now, I can understand protesting, but why do you have to go for the stores and stuff? Like, what did they do? And they're they're busting police car windows, and you can see it in this video. They're just absolutely wiling out. But that's not the worst thing. I can understand all that, but what I don't understand is why people are stealing TVs and other goods from stores. Now, obviously, they're just using George Floyd as an excuse to be thieves. Now, this isn't all the protesters, but it's a good portion of them. And it's really disgusting to use this man's death as an excuse to rob others. Now, I see a lot of people justifying what Colin Kaepernick did because of this man's death, and that's just disgusting. He was protesting against America, okay? A few bad cops doesn't make America this evil place, and I do understand where they're coming from because these stories just keep popping up. So we need to see more stories about good cops and what they do, right? Because only the negative stories are publicized, because obviously negativity gains traction. At the end of the day, this man's death was a tragedy, and obviously these cops need to be, you know what, both of them. The guy that was stopping those people from helping, like the firefighter lady or whatever, from helping George Floyd, and the cop that was obviously stepping on his neck that literally murdered him. Those two cops should be put in jail for life, or, in my opinion, I think that they should get the death sentence. Cops are not allowed to kill civilians. For what? What did he do? We saw the video before he was restrained, and he wasn't even resisting arrest. So obviously cops aren't allowed to just kill people. We have a justice system, and we have laws in place so this doesn't happen. So I think any cop that does something as disgusting as this and murders somebody have the maximum prison sentence or straight to the electric chair. I don't know if they do that in that state, but in my opinion, he should have the death sentence, both of them, both of those cops, because the other cop is an accomplice in a murder. Apparently, during the protest, a man was killed. I don't have any details other than that, but it just shows you how far this protest went, and a lot of people used it as an excuse to steal, which is extremely scummy of them to do. But yeah, anyways, that brings us to the end. Hope you like, share this, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.